Hello and welcome to North Country Matters. My name is Donna Seymour. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters, St. Lawrence County, one of the civic partners for our show. I want to welcome a new guest today to North Country Matters. With me is Dr. Maureen Maiocco from SUNY Canton to talk about St. Lawrence County's Family Child Care Training Program. Maureen, it is nice to have you with me on the show. You and I are both members of the St. Lawrence Child Care Council, so this is a great opportunity for us to talk about some of the work of the council and how SUNY Canton is creating opportunity for people to get trained in early education and also become small business owners, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So first of all, Maureen, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in early education, as well as the early education programs at SUNY Canton.
Sure. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much for having me. I have been working in the field of early care and ed for 38 years. It is my life's work and my passion. I started out, like many, as an assistant teacher, working my way up as a lead teacher, assistant director, and then took the plunge and became a small business owner operator of a very successful childcare center in the state of Massachusetts. I had that program for 16 years. Licensed by, of course, the State Office for Children in Massachusetts, and had wonderful staff, wonderful families, about 60 total children and families we had in our program. And at that point in time, I completed my master's degree, and I was approached by a supervisor. We had student interns from many colleges at my program who said, "Hey, you have a master's degree. Did you ever think about being an adjunct instructor?" So my first gig was with Massasoit Community College, teaching in the evening, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Equally rewarding as working with families and children, but different. So I decided, well, what do I want to do with the second part of my career? And that's prompted me to continue to have my childcare center, but also pursue my doctorate degree. And I've been with SUNY Canton now since 2004. And I'm very happy with the decision I made in closing my program and now sort of imparting my knowledge with pre-service educators and future early childhood providers.
So really, the arc of your life has been, in many ways, that growth from early days and just getting started, going through becoming a small business owner, pursuing more education. You really are modeling what you are hoping many of your clients who are in the family child care training program will actually be able to do, aren't you?
Absolutely. And I can tell you, Don, a little bit about the programs that we offer at SUNY Canton as well. When I arrived in 2004, we had an Associate of Science degree, a 2-year degree in early childhood. And in fall 2017, we developed and got approval for a Bachelor of Business Administration in Early Childhood Care and Management. Our combined programs now have about 128 students. Many of our students are traditional, many are non-traditional as well. Maybe they started college and stopped for whatever reasons and are pursuing and completing that degree path, or many take the programs here in order to advance themselves in their careers in the field of early care and ed. We also have a minor in early childhood studies. It's very popular with our applied psychology students. We also developed a micro-credential. And the micro-credential, I founded that because I wanted something from the family childcare training participants once they took that 1 3-credit course to be able to perhaps take 2 additional courses to receive a micro-credential if they didn't want to pursue a 2-year degree and a college degree. Also, that 3 combined courses for the micro-credential is very good for anyone who aspires to be a TA in a public school, or for those seeking to get certified in birth through K or birth through 2 at the public school level. So it serves many purposes for working professionals. But I'm really proud of the programs here. They can be taken 100% online. They can be taken on campus. They can be taken a combination of both. And the bachelor's degree, the BBA I mentioned, has grown in leaps and bounds since fall of 2017. We have about 76 students enrolled in that program. And, you know, the earning potential, like any profession, when you have an advanced degree, it is helpful to that individual, especially in the field of early care and ed.
Right. And SUNY Canton has done so much over the years to really develop programs that are meeting people where they need to be right now in their careers. They have looked a lot at what future careers are, and they've tried to develop programming for that. So it really is a very student-centered institution, isn't it?
It is. And, part of the reason why I've been here since 2004 is the applied learning mission that this college has. Our graduates are prepared because from day one, they're getting the lecture component, but they're also doing something with that. Part of that is field experiences, of course, or we don't call it student teaching because it can happen in a public school, but most of our professionals working and our students want a birth through age 5 experience. So we call it a field experience because that can be in a family home-based provider center. It can be in a childcare center, a Head Start program and such. It can even be at a children's museum. So we wanted to kind of keep it really wide open for what those experiences might be in the childcare industry. And of course, for the students who are a distance away from St. Lawrence County in our program, we work with them to find them a site that's meaningful in close proximity to their residence as well.
So that is such a student-friendly operation. So let's dive a little bit into the family child care training program that is happening right now in St. Lawrence County. This is one of several similar programs running in several locations around New York State, and they're all designed to help people start their own small business to provide child care. So how did the program get started here, Maureen, and who are the partners that are making it happen?
Sure, happy to talk about the Family Child Care Training Program because I'm a really proud partner of the initiative. So the partners include the New York Power Authority, the St. Lawrence Child Care Council, the Small Business Development Center that's housed at SUNY Canton, the SUNY Canton Early Childhood Program, the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency, and the St. Lawrence County Workforce Development Board. So there's a lot of people involved in this initiative. And basically, the mission is that we're committed to helping the local economy and economic development, assisting working families with finding reputable, high quality child care, and assisting those who maybe want to open up a small business. A family child care provider has the comfort of doing this in their home with little renovations, if any, and the overhead is quite decreased from a large child care center. So it's a great way for people who they aspire to do this and they're really passionate about working with children and providing that service. This is a means for them to get the support that they need that makes sense for that type of small business and entrepreneurship. So basically, this is a collaborative initiative, and I have to say that it's made possible through the support of the St. Lawrence County Legislature with program funding from the American Rescue Plan, and it's to meet the high demand and need for childcare in St. Lawrence County. And a lot of this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, excuse me, go ahead.
A lot of this came to be, during the pandemic, childcare providers were essential workers, and the large child care centers, family child care centers, they had to reduce their enrollment 50% and somehow still make it work. And so we took notice then, right? Because folks can't go to work unless they have reputable child care.
This is really something that has become more and more understood as we have gone through the last few years with the pandemic and even before, is business really understands now the crucial role that having enough childcare in the community plays in order to allow them to do their work. I can remember having a conversation with a small business owner last year who said to me, I hired a really great worker, and unfortunately, she quit with that week because she didn't have enough childcare. And he said there was nothing I could do about that for her, but it really hurt me having to let somebody who I knew was going to be a great worker go because she couldn't find the childcare she needed. So that's really meeting an important need in the community. Talk a little bit with us, Maureen, about the 3 components to the program as it presents itself here in St. Lawrence County.
Sure. The 3 components include support through our local resource and referral agency, which is the St. Lawrence Child Care Council. Anyone that aspires to open a family child care or child care center, that would be their first point of contact. But they are a partner in this initiative. And basically what they do is they help with any support through the application process, helping with the orientations that need to be completed. And each one of the partners, most especially St. Lawrence Child Care Council, once you connect with that agency, they're with you throughout your entire career, because they're going to be the support that you need in order to meet the regulations and all of that. So they do a wonderful job with the health and safety training, the CPR training, and again, any incentives, any grants that might be available, everything is there each step of the way. They're wonderful. The second partner is the Small Business Development Center. Dale Rice has done a wonderful job in creating workshops to assist those in establishing and understanding what it's like to own a business such as childcare. We can take a lot of business courses, but some aren't relevant to, the specialty of childcare in that small business. So basically what Dale has done is he's created these specific workshops on entrepreneurship, business planning, risk management, bookkeeping, marketing the family childcare business. And these are all done via Zoom virtually. So there's no need for someone to come to the Small Business Development Center. And that continues with the program too. We have several of our graduates from the Family Childcare Training Program now that still seek out business consultants via SBDC, because that's a free service that's available for everyone. So they're terrific. And finally, the third component is enrollment in our course ECHD 101, which is Introduction to Early Childhood at SUNY Canton. And that is offered online because we understand people are working and it's much more convenient sometimes to take the course online, although it is offered on campus. That would always be an option as well. But it's all the course materials, including the textbook. And that's a 3-credit transcripted course once the participants complete. And yeah, we use our learning management system called Brightspace. They can take part in a Brightspace orientation. And right now I am the instructor of that course. So I, really try to make it quite relevant to the family child care provider, lots of resources available and such. So those are the 3 main components of the family child care training program.
So, Maureen, what do you say to someone who has maybe never taken a college course, has never done anything online, and feeling a little bit intimidated by that process? Because that can be maybe a barrier for some people. And how do we get them over that particular barrier?
Yeah, and I completely get that. And I will tell you that our online learning team here has done a wonderful job with really basic tutorials and orientations. And my course is laid out in such a way if you can navigate Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or any one of those that we utilize, or a cell phone and all of those apps that are on it, please don't be intimidated by the online course modality. There's a folder, it opens, there's a schedule, you complete work by certain due dates, it's all spelled out. And sometimes I have students, they're all kind of nervous and intimidated by anything new. And so I can meet with them virtually and I can actually share my screen and show them the course and walk them through. And sometimes rather than spending 2 hours getting yourself stressed out, a 5-minute conversation, a virtual meeting with me kind of puts everyone at ease. So, I do work really well with the students to ensure that they feel a sense of comfort as much as I can and going into that online format.
And this, of course, is something that you experienced in your own life so it makes it easy for you to relate to the students, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. I can remember crying in front of the computer many times, when you were told to hit save and you didn't save and you lost your paper and you couldn't find it again, but there was a way to find it if you just calmed down and had someone come over to assist you. So yeah, I understand. And I understand too, going back to college and working full time and, and the family obligations that we have and how to balance that all. And that can be stressful too. But all of us, in the early childhood department here that are faculty have all been students of the profession. So we get it. We understand. Communicating with your faculty members just to let us know if something's going on. We can be as flexible as we can be, to ensure that students are successful.
That's great, and I'm sure it's going to be a great comfort to people to hear that. So you recently held a early childhood education conference at SUNY Canton. It was kind of a showcase for the Family Child Care Training Program. Tell us a little bit about that event and what some of the takeaways were.
Sure, I'm really excited to share one of the main takeaways, but I will tell you about our conference. Our conference is really well attended. It's a collaborative effort between the St. Lawrence Child Care Council and the SUNY Canton Early Childhood Program. We've been doing it for years. However, due to the pandemic and vaccinations and restrictions, we have not had a conference in over 3 years. So we sort of brought it back for a half-day format, which was very well received. We had about 50 attendees. The whole theme was based on play-based activities with intention and purpose behind those activities. And what we opted to do was utilize books and have participants engage in a book, read aloud, and then come up with activities that we had, and they had come up with some on their own too, about science and math and motor development and how you can begin with a book. And that was basically the theme. It was a wonderful conference, like I said. But one of the highlights and takeaways was that we have got permission from all of the partners who are funding the Family Childcare Training Program, that it's now going to be extended to existing family childcare providers. So they don't really need Part 1. They're already a licensed, fully operating family childcare business. But now what they can take advantage of is the small business development workshops and the online 3-credit course. So we were thrilled to make that grand announcement to all of our existing providers. And Donna, when we do that, we're showing our appreciation for what they're doing, supporting them. So maybe they need a little bit of assistance with bookkeeping, or maybe they'd like to learn a little bit about marketing strategies that are low cost, or maybe they want to not only take the online trainings they have to take in order to maintain their credentials as a childcare provider, but maybe a college course is of interest to them. And those college courses do fulfill some of the 10 training topics that are required from Office for Children. Not all, but about 50% of them. So, I think it's going to be a wonderful thing that we've expanded that, not only to those who aspire to open up family childcare, but more importantly to the existing family childcare providers that we have in St. Lawrence County. So really hoping that they take advantage of this, because it's just an incredible opportunity. I often tell the participants when they're coming to our virtual open houses to learn about the Family Childcare Training Program, I wish there was something like this available to me when I started my own childcare. I took all the business courses and such, but Dale has done such a nice job in really just catering what I need to know as a childcare provider, a business owner, with bookkeeping and financials. Low cost marketing. I can't afford a billboard, right? Or a commercial. So it's really got something for everyone that's interested in childcare.
Well, it not only is a way to enhance existing businesses' presence and experience and resources, but it's also a way to keep people in the field, isn't it? And that's been a real problem in the last few years. So many childcare providers are either aging out, or they retired, or they ended up closing their business because of stress during the pandemic. So keeping our existing businesses going is a crucial part of filling the need, isn't there?
Absolutely. And I think, what the conference brought to me, in the planning and the play-based activities. And we had put out a survey to ask family childcare providers and childcare directors and staff members, what they were interested in for the conference. And that's what they asked for. And that's what we provided. But what happens when people are in person, right? The networking and the sharing and just the joy and laughter, it inspires you. Some of our family childcare providers, they're in, silos. They're working alone for the most part. Maybe it's just them and an assistant teacher. So I think they really enjoy just the coming together. It's been a long time since we brought our members of our family childcare programs in the county together. And I that was my takeaway for the conference, right? And they want more and more and more. The evaluations came in, and they can't wait for one to happen in spring. So, we'll keep at it. We have a wonderful relationship with Bruce Stewart and his team at St. Lawrence Child Care Council. And we have a lot of folks that we can tap into to put on wonderful workshops as well.
Yes, it is something that is sorely needed, and especially for people who work out of their home or in a very small business, you often don't get that kind of feedback from your peers and the larger community. So it is very helpful to get that. So, Maureen, a recent New York Times article looked at data from the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, which many high school students have to take as an indicator of their readiness for college. And the results were stark and indicated that there are deep inequalities at the heart of American education. And these inequalities start well before a student goes to high school. Starting very early, children from rich and poor families receive vastly different educations and opportunities, both in and out of school. And it's driven in part by the amount of money and time their parents have to invest. Children who attend high quality preschools and who have are shown to have a higher chance of taking the SAT and going to college. So this really points out the importance of early education for every child and the need for all of us to find better ways to even the opportunities for all kids, not just those from well-to-do families. So talk to us a bit about what these early education needs are and how rural places like the North Country can help meet those needs and what the job prospects are for people in the field.
All right. Well, I think that the family childcare training program is a start, right? It's a start to creating and ensuring high quality childcare programs that are available and accessible to families and to promote the childcare profession. Um, I think that home-based small and large group centers can support entrepreneurs, small businesses, the economy. It's a practical means for childcare than the very large centers like I talked about that might have that huge overhead. Yeah, but we need to explore, and I'm glad you brought that up, Donna, the trilemma that exists, right? So when I teach my students about the trilemma that exists in childcare, it's accessibility, affordability for families, but then fair compensation for your childcare providers. And that's been an ongoing issue historically. We made strides way back in the Kaiser shipyard days. We made strides when we had Head Start come to be in 1965. We even had Embrace because of those two programs and their success, maybe a universal, system. But then that fell apart in the 1970s, right? So we've been part of this sort of wave of we know there's a need and we know the benefits of a high quality childcare program, but we just haven't got there yet, right? As a nation, we've made strides. Okay, but I think we can do better. I'm glad that there's attention now on childcare and the need. Many states too are coordinating efforts to move the dial forward and support the child care industry by way of grants and other financial supports. The local child care resource and referral agency and here St. Lawrence Child Care Council, they have the most update information about grants and monies that are available. So yeah, can we do better as a whole nation? Of course we can, right? It would be wonderful if we had childcare accessible, affordable for every citizen, right? That we could contribute in some way via taxes or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but I know that states are making progress and a lot of early childhood professionals are moving that dial forward. The National Association for the Education of Young Children has really done well in that regard, and each state affiliate from NAEYC has made progress as well. We have a long ways to go, but I think our voices are being heard. I think
Yeah.
our voices are being heard, and that and people in those important roles that can move the dial forward more than we can as childcare providers are listening and taking action. So I haven't felt this optimistic about where we might be headed and going in a while, and I'm really thinking that the family childcare training program, although small and for our county, like you said at the beginning, a lot of counties have this and it's working. It's just one way.
It is one way, and for those of us who spend some time advocating for early education and better childcare and better accessibility and more affordability. You're right. We are finally gaining the ears of the legislators. There is a greater understanding of the link between good, high quality childcare and success in education, and also success in economic development. So the pieces are in place, and I think we are making real progress along those lines. Well, Maureen, thank you so much for coming in today. This is really an important program. It's only been in place for a couple of years, so there's a lot of room for expansion. And the fact that you're opening it up now to existing providers as well as bringing in new providers is a great step forward, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So thanks again for coming in, and we will be following the success of this program very carefully. So I appreciate your time. So these conversations are a production of North Country Matters, which is a civic collaboration between the League of Women Voters of St. Lawrence County and the Potsdam Public Library. Until next time, remember, our North Country matters.